want to tell you a little bit more about me and my background in this medium. I started in radio and was starting to make podcasts on the side back in 2010, 2011. And honestly, I was just doing it at the beginning to make some extra money. And I soon fell in love with the industry. In 2014, I started paying very close attention to some of the business opportunities and some of the gaps in the market. So I have a podcast production company now, but I never thought I was going to do this. I kind of fell into it. And so I'm sharing this because maybe some of you might start a business and you might not be thinking of it now, but maybe as you continue to grow in the medium, this might be a pathway for you. So as I was taking on clients here and there, I still had a full-time job at first in radio. I was then working in communications and building my portfolio and my skill set on the side. I wasn't even making my own podcast. I was just making them for other people. Then in 2018, I wrote the book, Let's Talk Podcasting, The Essential Guide to Doing It Right. And that was a big game changer for me. Lots of people started reaching out and wanting to work with me, which led to 2020, me leaving my full-time job and taking the plunge at first just to try to be a freelance full-time podcast producer. Very quickly, I saw there was a lot of work to be had. And within 6 months, I hired my first full-time employee. I had a business and I started actively growing. And we've been on track with growth ever since then. So it's really exciting to see how it's all evolved and knowing that I didn't really think that was going to be my path in the beginning, but somehow have fallen into it and now absolutely love it. I'm in a position where I am the executive producer for all of the podcasts we make. We're across 7 to 10 podcasts at any given time. And some of them move a little bit slower than others, but I'm also getting to produce some original from my company, which is also really exciting. One of our recent productions is called How to Fall Asleep Fast. If you want to check that out, it's music composed by my husband, and I do a little bit of a meditation off the top, and it helps people fall asleep. And so that's one of our experiments that we've just put out there to see, how we can gain audience traction and also doing a bit of an SEO play there. How to fall asleep fast is one of the most Googled terms around sleep. So it's fun to be able to play with the medium and now make my own shows within my company as well as still serving others. But I now want to turn it over to Briana Carnegie, who is our Director of Business Development, and she's going to provide some tips for how you can grow your business as a podcaster, even if it's just you, but maybe even beyond. Let's take a listen.
Hello, my name is Briana Carnegie, and I am the Director of Business Development at Lead Podcasting. Today, I'd like to speak about business development for podcast production agencies and share some tips and tricks along the way. So a brief introduction about me. I have a journalism background with about 10 years experience in the news industry. I actually joined Lead Podcasting this past spring in this business development role. And so I work with clients to discover their podcast vision and also explore the ways that Lead Podcasting can help bring their vision to life. So let's start with what is a director of business development? By definition, this is essentially someone that is a person responsible for seeking out new business opportunities for organizations. So in that way, it's really an investment for organizations to have this role. As I briefly touched on there in my role, I am the dedicated person to work with clients. And so I'll hop on a free consult calls with them that come in through our website, through our business email, referrals, etc. We will have that discovery call together, essentially finding the problem and being the solution for it. I also attend conferences on behalf of Lead Podcasting, and I manage our social media accounts for both Lead Podcasting and for our clients as well. So speaking today, I would like to touch on how to bring in more business and the 5 ways that we recommend to generate leads and to bring in new clients. The first one, website, it's number one. If there's anywhere to start, it's going to be with your website. So let's review some key information that could be included there. The number one thing I'd like to point out for this, examples of your work. Have this front and center on your homepage. Also, update it often. You can link your work to Apple and Spotify, so that's easy for clients to access it. Just to highlight a couple of our top clients here, there's 3 different sectors that we mainly work for. We, of course, have some beyond that as well, but really the top 3 are finance, nonprofit, and the education sectors. We also highlight some of our bilingual podcasts. So many of our podcasts are actually in English, but we do offer some in French as well. So why do we highlight this on our websites? It's because prospects want to see comparables. They want to see what type of work you currently do and how it might relate to their work if you were to work together. You also want to provide an overview of the services that you offer, and there's an opportunity to expand on this during your consult calls with prospects. So just to briefly touch on our main services here, there's really 4 in total that we follow through a process. The number 1 is show development. So this is setting the foundation for your podcast. 2 is episode mapping, what's going to be included in each episode. Then really getting into the technical items for number 3, the recording and editing, followed by 4, distribution and launch of the show. We also offer additional considerations that are tailored to each client. So this could be anything from social media assets to guest sourcing, or perhaps even offering a marketing blitz. Also on the website, we highlight resources. So we would like to be a resource for people, and in turn, they will remember you when they think of the resources that you have offered. So a couple of different examples that you could go for different routes here. So LinkedIn articles is a great one. We actually feature 6 of them on our website. This one, as you can see on the left-hand side, how businesses can benefit from having a podcast. We also tend to send this out to our clients for anyone that would like to share that resource with their teams. On the right here are some of the tech recommendations that we offer to our clients as well. And it's helpful for them if, to offer a range of affordability options, some that are more affordable as well. Being included there is always helpful. And again, if they move forward with buying that technology, then they will think of you every time that they use it. On your website, you also would like to promote your work, celebrate the work that you do. So this could be highlights, including speaking opportunities, perhaps any awards that you have won, where you've been featured on for media, or reviews that you've garnered from past clients as well. So a couple examples from our website. In the top left-hand corner, you will see our founder, Amanda Cupido. This is her TEDx talk on why audio storytelling is an integral part of humanity. We also have media features highlighting some of the prominent local and national examples of where lead podcasting has been featured, and reviews. So this is another great area, and I'll give you a hint. We'll actually talk a little bit more about this shortly. So why do we feature these items on our website, and why should you consider it as well? Really, the main item is we want to focus on SEO. So this is search engine optimization, and that's essentially to help search engines understand your content and help users to find your site. So the more keywords and verified content that's linked to your website, the greater chance that people will find you. Now, not everyone's an expert in SEO, and that's okay. There are many resources to help with this. You can search them up. We recently took a course that was offered through the City of Toronto. Toronto is where we are based, and found that class extremely helpful as well. We've also had a lot of great feedback from prospects that many of them have found us through our website. So a lot of that SEO is coming through, which is great to hear. So now that we have sort of the business information covered, we want to direct people to book a consult call with you. So on the left here, this book a free discovery call button. This is an important item to feature on many places throughout your website. And then that button can be linked to a service that could directly book into your calendar. This is one example on the right of my Calendly link. And Calendly is a service that offers both free and paid versions of it. But essentially what it is it's synced to your calendar. And so a prospect can go in, see the availability that you have, book directly into your calendar. They will get a confirmation email on their end. And there's also a really helpful widget that can help with this as well if you're using Gmail, and it will automatically add some of those times into your email if you download that widget. So it's a helpful tool to use as well. There's also, you want to offer the good old-fashioned routes as well. So offer your contact information, your email, your phone number, and can also go the route of submission forms as well. It's key to offer this on multiple places throughout your website. Make it easy for people to get in contact with you. Okay, number 2 I want to highlight is conferences. So here are a couple of examples of conferences that our team attended and some events throughout this past spring. The first one that I'd really like to highlight on the left-hand side of the screen is our Soundwave Summit. And this was our first ever event that Lead Podcasting launched. We did it in partnership with the Chanilla Network and the Sonar Network. And the goal was to bring together creators making waves in podcasting. We offered informative sessions throughout the day and then some live podcast performances in the evening. And so Amanda, our founder, and her husband Boris launched a new show as part of the evening performances. It's called How to Fall Asleep Fast. They launched it from the show, and it actually hit number 1 on Apple Podcasts shortly after. So that was a huge success, a great way to cap off the event. Amanda as well, you can see the middle picture there. She's actually holding a cake here. So she did her opening keynote was focusing on the past, present, future of podcasting, and the room saying happy birthday to podcasting, celebrating 20 years. It was a highlight of the day. There's a couple of other examples highlighted on the page here of different conferences we've attended. And in the bottom right-hand corner, our booth at the Change Leadership Conference in Toronto. There were a couple different items that we handed out that day to people attending the conference. This was some handouts about Amanda's speech, which was focusing on internal podcasting, and then offered Amanda's book for sale as well. And we were booking free consult calls from the booth too. So conferences, why are they important? They can offer you speaking opportunities to promote your services, and you can pair that with a booth to have the action item. So in our case, booking the consult calls to chat more with people about launching their podcasts. You can offer swag. People love free stuff, and this can really be simple. You don't have to go over the top. A handout of an article, booking a free consult call, perhaps even taking a picture with our microphone, just something to remind people of you. It's an opportunity to reach new audiences. Often conferences are in person and there usually is an expectation of a booth, so it takes the pressure off. You can tailor the audience for your networking or your client base as well. Being at conferences shows that you're out in the community. You can promote this on your socials as well, and you can have fun with it. Like, go live if you want. Do a live Instagram post, do a live Facebook post. I think it's a great way to show on social media that you're out there and chatting with new people. So that leads into social media being number 3. So how many times have you judged a business based on their online presence? I know that I personally have. If their website or their social media is not active or impressive, I likely move on. So some tips for your social media. Show that you're online and active. Update relatively often. Doesn't have to be over the top, but 1 to 2 times a week is more than enough. Interact with your followers as well. This helps to build a community. You can offer tips, industry information or statistics, some recommendations. You can tailor your post to the audience that you're looking to reach. We, as in podcasting, we're in a creative industry, so you can be creative with it and have some fun as well. And with that, you want to reflect the voice and branding of your company. So this could be in the form of perhaps your color palette, for example. You can also use social media posts for proposals, sending these to potential clients or prospects to highlight and showcase some of the work that you do. You can stay in touch with prospects. If it's not a good time to move forward with your services, but you'd like to stay in touch, then you can follow each other on social. And it's a good way to sort of leave that conversation until it's right time to pick it back up again. And the last one is social media. We touched on it with the website too, but you'd like to celebrate your wins and promote the work that you do. So everyone has their own approach to social media, but here's a couple examples of ours. So How to Fall Asleep Fast. On the left-hand side screen, there's one of our posts celebrating our win of hitting the new and noteworthy list, number 1 on Apple Podcasts, as I mentioned. On the right-hand side, you'll see some of our branding and our color palette reflected on our Instagram account. We feature behind-the-scenes photos there, so you can see some of the conference photos there. We showcase podcast launches for our clients, and we also update our Instagram stories often with our own content or even reposting from other followers. Social media groups is number 4. So Facebook, there's a couple groups that I'm personally part of. One of them is Women Who Freelance. Another one is a professional women's meetup. And so I have found that you can find community there. You can interact with like-minded people who share your interests. It's another opportunity to get your name and your company out there by interacting. So you can comment useful information, recommendations, reacting to posts, and people, again, will remember you for that content. It's helpful to find new audiences that you may not have reached before. And it's also a great resource for you. You might benefit from some of the items that are posted in those groups and make new networking connections. So a recent example I'd like to highlight from social media groups. I recently posted our Podcast Accelerator program in a Facebook group. This program, participants walk away with their first season fully produced and launched all within 10 weeks. And so on that post, I had interactions from many people that were looking for more information. There was a Calendly call that was booked as a result of this post. And we actually have a person going through our accelerator now who I may not have found otherwise outside of that group. All right, number 5 is referrals. And so research shows that the importance of word of mouth and referrals for podcast agencies. So this is a recent state of podcast agencies report, and it highlights that the top 3 ways agencies acquire clients. Number 1 is word of mouth at 88%. Number 2 is referrals at 81%. And that's followed by organic search and rounding out the top 3 at 45%. So organic search, again, is the unpaid listings that appear on search engine results page. And so these 3 items outperform paid advertising, social media, and paid sponsorships as well. So we know referrals are key, and yet there is a gap for how many agencies have implemented referral programs. From this report, we know that only 4.8% of agencies actively invest in referral programs. So the report says there is an opportunity to generate new leads through mutually beneficial referral programs for existing clients and for prospects. And it also helps to build loyalty among existing clients. With reviews, again, there's the importance of word of mouth. You want to hear directly from those who have used the service. And so this is another example from our website. It verifies the existing client's experience. It shows it's a reputable client, and it provides legitimacy to your service for prospects that are looking at potentially working with you. You can share reviews on your website, on social media. You can include them in proposals. But of course, you want to have some approval with that before going ahead and doing so. So a quick recap here. These are the top 5 ways that we recommend to generate leads, again, based on our recommendations. Number 1, the top takeaways here, you want to boost your SEO so people can find you easily, and then make it easy so that they can book a consult call with you. 2, at conferences, you want the opportunity to promote your company to new audiences, and you can be strategic with this. You want to tailor it to the audience that you're looking to reach. And you want to give them some swag, give them a takeaway to remind them of you. Number 3, social media. People will judge your services based on your online presence. So give them a good impression and promote your wins as well. With social media groups, you can tailor your approach, and you may have reached someone that you may not have before without having that social media group. And you may also benefit from items that are shared by like-minded people. And last but not least is referrals. Research shows that the top ways podcast agencies acquire clients is through word of mouth and referrals. And there is an opportunity to put programs in place that leverage these 2 items. I'd like to thank you for listening. I hope you were able to take away 1 or 2 items from this presentation. I'd like to thank Lead Podcasting and the Association of African Podcasters and Voice Artists for this opportunity to speak. I'm happy to stay in touch as well. My email's up on the screen there, Briana@leadpodcasting.com. You can add me on LinkedIn as well, and check out our website too, leadpodcasting.com. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Brianna. That was great. And thanks to Demilola, and thanks to all of you for tuning in and watching. We were so happy to be part of this, and we hope we're invited back again next year. Congratulations once again. And please keep in touch. Find us on LinkedIn, is where we're all very active. Demilola Onime, Briana Carnegie, and myself, Amanda Cupido. Of course, you can also stay up to date with all of Lead Podcasting's work by going to our website, leadpodcasting.com, and signing up for our newsletter right at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Please keep in touch. Congratulations to all of you, and good luck. Bye-bye.